I'm a total risk taker, but I'm totally not a mover. Growing up, my father was a professional poker player slash con man and constantly got in trouble with the law, with neighbors whose money he stole, just all kinds of things. And so we moved about once or twice a year, every year. And typically it's because we were running from someone. He often would wake us up in the middle of the night and say, "We gotta go." And we would literally throw our stuff into our car or our truck if we were lucky and move to the next town or the next state. And so I grew up with moving having this horrible connotation.
I grew up on the East Coast, New York, right outside New York City. My personality growing up, I was kind of just very entrepreneurial, very independent. I was a hustler. I wanted to make a lot of money. You know, if you ask enough people to buy something, eventually somebody's gonna buy it.
We had lived for about 12 years in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we loved it there. We loved our home, our city, our church, our friends. My kids were born there, lived their whole lives there. We had no intention of ever leaving. And then we just started to receive a very clear sense that God wanted us to move to Las Vegas and start a new church there. Our ministry has always been trying to reach people that other churches wouldn't or couldn't reach. And there were certainly people like that in Virginia Beach, but we knew that there had to be a lot more messed up, broken people in Las Vegas than Virginia Beach or probably anywhere else in the United States.
5 years ago, I was 25, as young, living in New York. I was making, pretty good money, but I felt like I wasn't gonna get any farther where I was at. And something had to change, something big. I asked my father one day, where's all the money in America? And he said Las Vegas. I said, Las Vegas? At that time, I was married with one kid, boy. I had never been anywhere outside of New York, so it was kind of like a big risk to take, this big move and say, okay, well, I'm gonna move my family, my wife and my kid, to this random place where, we have no idea what's gonna happen. And just kind of picked up and went.
There's about 2 million people live in Las Vegas. 1.9 million of those don't go to church. We decided that we didn't want to just go to Las Vegas, but we wanted to be really in the heart of Sin City. It's interesting, I had a couple pastor friends in Las Vegas who I talked to, and they were very encouraging about the idea of me coming to Las Vegas and said, Vince, you'd be a perfect fit, when they thought I was going to the suburbs. But when they heard that we wanted to be on or around the Strip, they told me, Vince, that is career suicide. It will never work. You won't even get your church off the ground. What's up, man? What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Hey, man, how are you? Good to see you. What we do is really different, and it kind of gives people a different paradigm for church and introduces them to God and His love and a relationship with Him in a different way. The whole thing has been really challenging, like we thought it would be, but it's been so rewarding, and God has done such amazing things.
Well, I showed up in Las Vegas with no plan. I didn't know anybody, I'd never been here. I just kind of went. I started, reaching out to nightclubs and doing nightclub photography, making a lot of connections and networking. We started this nightclub photography company. We started taking pictures of tourists. So you'd be in the nightclub and we would take your picture and print it out for you right there. And at the height of it, we had 10 nightclubs, something like 12 photographers working on staff. Being in the nightclub industry, you party for free, you drink for free, and there's girls from all over the country who come there just to have a good time. Anything goes. I would recruit girls to dance in the strip clubs, and I would manage or take or whatever you want to call it. I would do what I wanted with their money. If a girl was doing really well, $1,000 a night, and I would provide for them. Obviously, if they needed clothes or food or whatever it was, that was taken care of as well. I was also sexually involved with them, and You know, I think it was part of the game is, you know, to make them fall in love with you and want to give you what you want, you know. And it was a mind play, you know. When girls got obviously fed up or tired of it, there was another girl, you know. And most people, I think, you know, they would think like, oh wow, like this guy is living like the life. He's in Las Vegas, he's, you know, partying, he's in big nightclubs and just having the time of his life. But no, it didn't feel that way after a while. My marriage at that time was destroyed. It was just horrible, you know, separated from the kids. The bottom where I could say I really hit rock bottom was I remember one night, or one morning I should say, I can't tell the difference between morning and night sometimes, is I woke up next to this girl and I just felt this sickening feeling in my stomach. And I went into the bathroom. I remember looking in the mirror and looking at myself and saying, I'm this old, I'm living here, and this is my life. And this is not the dreams or the goals that I thought I would have as a young, you know, 18-year-old kid in New York. Something had to change because I knew I was gonna kill myself or something. I knew that I wanted my family back though. She started, you know, attending a church, and I followed her. I didn't necessarily believe the message they were, you know, speaking, or really don't even understand it. You know, growing up in a household where God was never really spoken about, and if anything, I looked at religion in a negative way. But I just went. One time I heard this guy, Vince, speak, and he just delivered this message about the prodigal son, and it just struck me in my heart. It literally pierced my heart.
What I was talking about that night was, it doesn't matter. It was the idea, the message was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why you walked away from God. It doesn't matter where you've gone. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter how far you've drifted. God still loves you.
By the end of the message, I was just bawling and weeping and uncontrollably. It was like, just, you know, not even like me. I was like, well, you know, what's happening right now?
He struggled so much and kept trying to talk, but was just kind of blubbering, that finally, to kind of put him out of his misery, I was like, do you want to get together sometime and talk, you know, when you're okay?
That story of the prodigal son is so like Las Vegas, you know. You have this treasure and you go and squander it in this city on wild living. You know, wild partying and stuff. And that's what I did. I squandered my life, which is treasure, you know, and still through that, you know, I understood by the end of that message that Vince gave that he was still willing to take me back. I didn't necessarily understand the gospel, quote unquote gospel. I didn't necessarily understand these church terms, right? I just knew that I felt the most undescribable love that I've ever felt. I just started to shed away all these things that were, you know, just clouding up my life. Everything from drinking to partying to women to even porn. My life started to transform over time and starting to become more selfless and to just give and want to serve God and serve others. And I've chosen to do that full time. I love to serve in music, spoken word, hip hop. I produce music, all Christian and positive music. We get that out to youth and kids all over the city. One of my favorite things to do now is to go to UNLV and just meet students and find out where they're at.
Let me ask you just real quick, do you believe that Jesus was a real man?
Trying to answer their questions and really just, you know, teaching people truth about who God is.
When I look around here, for a lack of a better word, I see people who are lost, and they don't know they're lost.
So now I'm very involved with the homeless. We realized that one of the biggest needs for homeless folks, not only in Las Vegas, but nationwide, is socks. They walk everywhere. That's their form of transportation. And, you know, for instance, you know, this morning it was raining here in Las Vegas, and I knew I had to get these guys some new socks.
Before receiving Christ into my life, I could care less about these people, or anybody at that. I can actually honestly look at these people and say I love them.
Our relationship now is amazing. I mean, we have a brand new baby girl. Her name is Zoe. It means life. And she's, I mean, it's awesome. We have our date nights. You know, we talk more than we ever have. We read the Bible together, and it's like, I never thought in a million years that we'd be doing this, you know. My bedtime is a lot earlier now. 2 years ago today, we renewed our vows and got baptized. We were the first people baptized here at Verve, right here at this hotel, in the jacuzzis. That's the real Las Vegas baptism story. Like, we supposedly have new life, right? It really does feel like that. Like, looking back 2 years ago, it's like that person was dead in that water, you know? And it's like, really, like, the picture of baptism is just beautiful. Like, you know, you go down, you're buried in this grave, and then you're resurrected, and it's like, looking back, like, that was a completely different person, you know? And man, it's wild. I don't necessarily try to explain what happened to me, because it's something that's unexplainable, and that's what miracles are. The biggest testimony that I have is my life changed. This is who I was then, and this is who I am now. Something happened in the middle of that transformed me. And there's only one word that I can think of that it was, and it was love. We misuse that word all the time, you know, love. I love this and I love that. You know, we don't know what love is until we meet him. We think we have to give up all this stuff, you know? And it's all the stuff that we're holding on to because we think it makes us happy. But in the end, there's only one way. There's only one thing that makes us happy, and that's following him, you know? And it's like, we can just let go, right? Let go of all the baggage, let go of the money, let go of even our family sometimes, you know? And say, no, I'm gonna follow God. Take a chance, take a risk, you know? Like, go out on that limb and say, God, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I'm gonna jump out of this plane right now, and if you don't catch me, I'm gonna die, or I'm gonna, you know, go through some pain, but it's worth it.